Hello, all my TW555 members here at Midway. Welcome back to the Quick Question Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Perez. I am one of your union alternate reps alongside my co-host, Hugo Valles, your safety rep for the station. Hugo.
Hey.
Hugo.
What's up?
How you been?
Not bad.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we got a special guest for you guys today. We have actually your elected rep, Wally.
Hey,
Wally Matys.
Wally,
Hey, Wally.
welcome.
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how awkward that is. Wally, how you been, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Busy.
Busy, huh? I bet you are busy. So I want to talk about how you've been and who you are and everything, man. So the first thing I want to say is congratulations on being the elected rep. I know the first time you were the rep, it was you won by acclamation.
Correct.
Which means nobody ran against you. You just won by acclamation. And this time you were actually elected by the members, and you got 396 votes, which that's almost half the ramp, and that was actually the best turnout we've ever had, man.
Amen
So
to that.
congratulations, man.
Yes.
Congratulations
Thank
a
you.
lot.
Yeah, good job, everybody.
So how do you feel about that, man? That many votes?
Very humbled and shocked a little bit, actually. I was not expecting. For one thing, we've never had a turnout like that. And we've never had a turnout,
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that, that's good.
And to come out like that and in my favor that way, it was, I was taken back a little bit because I was not expecting it.
Yes. So you don't want to say anything to you
Yeah.
to everybody?
I obviously thank you very much. I mean, and I'm glad you're putting your faith in me and us, all of us, to continue to.
Well, I don't know about Hugo.
What do
Well,
you mean? I'm part of the team.
No.
Sort of.
yeah,
He's just something to do.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
He's like that. He's like that kid, like when you were two, with your little brother, when they want to play and you have him hooked up to the Nintendo. Well, you don't have him hooked up. You just have a controller in his hand. And we're just playing.
That's me.
You're doing
No
so
respect.
good.
No
You're doing so good.
respect.
Keep going.
No respect.
I just kind of think it was eye candy.
The first thing I want to start off with, Wally, is with I know you caught one of my screw ups last week in the podcast.
Oh yeah, I did message you after.
Good job, Eric.
Yeah, you were calling me, and I just totally ignored it. So, but it was during the podcast. I should have answered it, but
Yeah, it would have been fun.
Yeah, but what was the mess up, if you don't mind?
In regards to doctor's notes, first off, I'm glad you have this informative podcast to misinform. But no, I'm just kidding. It's a slight, kind of. It was about doctor's notes, contractually in the contract and interps as well. You have to turn in your doctor's note your first day back. The 24 hours that he was speaking of, they will not give you 24 hours to bring it in. The 24 hours is if your note, you turn your note in and they have an issue with it. There's something wrong with it. It doesn't cover all your days. That type of thing. You can, well, not even if it doesn't cover all your days. If that's not accurate. Just if there's an issue with the note. If the note is not accurate, if there's something
Right. If there's like a discrepancy with it,
there's
the
a
name
discrepancy
needs to
with
be changed.
something needs to be changed. This is not signed or whatnot. Something like that.
Whose phone's going off? Is that yours?
That's my phone. I got it on vibrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about silencing it?
How about silence?
It's actually a grievance specialist calling me.
Oh. Hey, wait, you don't need them.
But they will give you 24 hours to get a new note if there's an issue with your note.
All right. Awesome.
That's I talked too much.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry when that was my fault, but glad Wally caught it. So hopefully you guys still have trust in me for the rest of the way.
Big dummy.
Everybody has those.
So for the last week or so, you've been the alternate district because you are the assistant station rep. I mean the assistant district rep. So unfortunately, our district rep Dan Curtis, we all know what's going on with him. So how's he been?
He's as of Monday. He's kind of easing his way back into it. Last week he was on bereavement, so I basically, being his alternate, I took his spot. So I had to go to Dallas to take part in a board meeting and just basically field all the calls from the 9 cities that we have.
Okay. So how's that been?
Like I said, it's busy. There's a lot of traveling, a lot of the phone calls weren't too bad. There was obviously questions.
Right.
And then the board meeting was interesting. Honestly, there's not a lot I can say about it, just because I can't. But I mean, it was definitely a great experience, and I wish it was for a different reason. But
Right. Well, so I mean, do you think it's a little bit worse than being the actual station rep, or
no, being at Midway. I've been told numerous times by the union in Dallas that being the rep at Midway is almost like being a district rep because of the size and how much we have going on.
oh,
No, definitely.
So it wasn't a huge change, and I got to thank you guys, all the
All the union reps out
yeah,
there.
you, Roy, Jose, Kenya, Chalmers, Jimbo,
for his partial help?
yeah, Jim, yeah,
Jimbo.
he showed up. He showed up a day or two, maybe.
Yeah, that's
so.
right.
But
That counts. That counts.
Yeah, it counts at least.
yeah, but you guys, I mean, took care of everything, and I still got a few things, come my way, but for the most part, you guys handled everything, and I got to thank you guys for that. And you guys, that's why we are the team we are.
That's awesome.
Yep.
All right, let's stick with Midway. Let's go back to Midway. So grievances, how are grievances, buddy?
Well, to be honest, without overtime, they've slowed down some, but we still get an average of 15 to 20 a week. To be honest, the biggest write-ups, disciplinary write-ups we get are people being late to flights.
Right.
That's probably the one I see the most, other than equipment, returning equipment. We finally got the tug thing hopefully figured out. That was
That was a pain in the ass.
it was a pain in the ass. It sucked, and it was a constant fight. And I was able to, before they rolled out the new procedures on, I think, the first, I was able to get all the grievances and letters thrown out, just because I basically argued the fact that if you're starting a new procedure, then obviously there's something flawed in your procedure now. So why don't we just start fresh, kind of like the no punches, and start fresh with everybody and move on from there.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah. As far as them being late, like, do you get the old, bathroom excuse or?
Well, yeah, the bathroom excuse is always there, and just so everybody knows, that is the absolute oldest excuse in the book, and they absolutely hate that excuse. Even if it could very well be legit, but we've come to find out, over the years that 90% of the time it's just something that most folks don't think anybody's going to question, so they throw it in the bathroom. But a lot of it is also agents saying that their flight they were changed at the last minute, so that's why they were late. It rarely comes out to being true, to be honest. They can track, ops can track when any gate changes are made, any of those changes are made. So a lot of times when I'm doing an investigation with a grievance for somebody that was late to a flight, I can find out when that flight was changed, when they were assigned that flight. All that comes out. So when you guys say that, sometimes it takes away my argument once I do that, because I'm doing that for the purpose of showing, hey, this was changed at the last minute, but a lot of times it comes out to be the opposite. So that's kind of takes away our argument.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll try not to be late next time. Well, here's a good one for you, buddy. This is from our friends. I actually asked some agents to see if I wanted to ask you something, and a lot of them pretty much want to know if you plan on putting up any more reps.
Honestly, no. The question came up, and a small conversation came up about maybe having another rep at night, just because it tends to be a little more busier at night. Newer reps, newer agent, or newer soups, so there tends to be more conflict, and it's traditionally it's always just been more hectic at night. But in the end, we just kind of decided, nah, we're just I think we're just good with what we got.
All right. What do you? Well, even if you were, like, what? I mean, what are the things that you actually look for in a person to be a rep? Like what?
I mean, very first thing I would think, if I've always thought, is guys should have, or girl, whatever, should have a few years behind them.
Right.
I would say at least probably, just throwing a number out there, 5 years.
Okay.
Just because, then they've had time to, acclimate themselves with procedures. They're constantly changing. Just that experience in different procedures, know a little bit about, the GOM and all that other stuff, because that all comes into play, not just our contract, which they should, I would think as a rep, they should know as well.
Right.
Not front to back. I mean, what nerd knows that everything like front to
Why
back?
you,
like,
sir? What's Article 20?
You.
Yeah. Article 20 is grievance procedures, actually.
There you go.
There you go.
So, yes, but and I mean, to me, that's the main thing. And another big thing is trust, because they have to be, somebody that we trust to know these things, or trust to ask if they don't, because in the end, and we all these guys know this. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever you want to call it, it falls to me if something is incorrect, or something they cost somebody's job, or whatever it is. If it's done incorrectly by any of the reps, it comes to me, and I could technically be sued. I don't know if I want to put that out there, give anybody any ideas, but technically, I can.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I couldn't. I mean, it's a big responsibility. It's a big trust, man. Because it's like I don't know if I could trust really that many people with that. Because I mean, I have a lot to lose. I'd imagine you got a lot to lose, and
yeah,
it's a lot, man. Like we you have a family. You got a home. You got your 401k that can go after, and it's like I get it, man. You really have to trust.
You
that
got
guy,
a lot to lose. So.
And of course you don't want too many. I'd imagine you don't want too many hands in the soup. I'd imagine.
Well, right, and because we run into that now sometimes with just the 6 of us. Is there 6?
Yeah, I think it's 7 of us.
7 of us. Sorry.
Partial.
Yeah, I didn't include myself. I was thinking everybody else but me. But we run into that now sometimes because, and I get, the agents, you guys, if you get, a point assessed incorrectly or something like that, you want that fixed. So a lot of times, some folks really care about that, so they get a little impatient. So they'll come to me with a question on that question. If I don't have an answer by the next day, they'll go and talk to Eric. Then they'll go talk to Kenya. Then they'll go talk to. I mean, it's just to get that fixed as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's not.
So then sometimes we go to try and fix something. We put work into trying to fix something when it's already been being worked on by somebody else.
And the company hates that as well.
The company does hate that as well when we have 6 different reps coming and asking them the same question for the same person.
Right.
you
So it's,
got to learn how to trust.
It'll get fixed. Well, they just don't understand the system, like the process.
right.
That's what instead of being patient, it's going
Right.
to happen. It's just got to take its course.
Right. And we've also had issues with, grievances. We've had grievances written up, and that's why I've always preferred us, the reps, to write the grievances out. So there's other stations that don't do that. Our guys at Just Tempt in Denver.
Right.
I had multiple agents from the messaging me, asking me and sending me pics of grievances they wrote out themselves. And I asked them, aren't the reps doing this with you? And they just have them.
No.
No, they just have them write out a grievance and put it in a folder in the break room. But then it runs into issues where, bad articles put on there, and they need to be worded a certain way, a lot of these to make them valid and to make our arguments valid. So that's why I prefer reps that know the contract, know how to write up grievances, know what they're doing essentially, which they don't even do it properly every time. I mean, and I've messed up grievances. And
and I've made, and even then I don't know everything. Like sometimes I still got to come to you, and I still got to call DC. I still got to call people.
yeah, I still call DC. I don't. I'll never pretend to know everything. And then there's also time frames involved. You know, which the agents need to know as well. So we need, and there's different ways we navigate those grievances. So that's
that's the gist of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, that's good. That's good. So,
Oh, wait a minute, guys. Is this just in? Newsflash. Remember those pushbacks we've been getting?
yeah,
Well, the orders have been canceled.
even the ones we've been trained on.
The ones that we've been trained on, those nice ones,
Yeah.
new ones, they're going to be canceled. We're not getting them.
Why not?
It seems that they're coming in from China, and they don't want to pay the tariffs on it, so we will not be getting them. Also, the tugs, the new brand tugs, they're supposed to go system wide.
Yeah.
Those are also canceled. So yeah,
Well, we just got a bunch of new tugs, didn't we? Though.
we did, but after
system
that, they put another order in. Those are done as well.
Jesus Christ.
No more of those.
Wow. Well, that's why we're station of the year.
Yeah, that's right.
Probably.
We're only ones with the good stuff.
Yeah, we got all the good stuff.
Yeah. Well.
All right, sorry guys. Go ahead.
Well,
Carry
thanks,
on,
Hugo.
carry
Thanks.
on.
You guys were breaking news. Wally, just maybe a few more. The only one from the agents is pretty much J lines. What's going on? Why aren't we having J lines?
Okay.
First of all, they haven't even paid at all of them. So
Shut up, Hugo. Just shut up. I wish you would hit him in the face. I mean, sometimes when you
This
say
mic is
that,
pretty
we say-
heavy.
Yeah.
hey,
I have threatened to kick him in the face. So
Yes.
I want to see that.
You won't see it coming.
So,
All right, so J-line meetings. To be honest, J-line meetings they're an outdated practice. They're not really done. I've been here for, well, Eric, you and I, and Hugo, we've all been here for 24 years.
Yep.
And I know I can count on one hand how many I've actually gone to.
And had.
Yes. And they were a big practice, when contractual time, when because it was something to try and show solidarity, that type of thing. But you spent most of the time out there going, "What do you say? What do you say?" And we're in a big station. We're an outlet like today with social media and this podcast will reach way more people than a J-line ever would.
Because look, I've been to a bunch of them, and you're talking at least possibly 50 to 60 people that show up, because half the ramp is probably off.
that's a fraction of
A
it.
quarter of the rest is working, which means you get maybe the quarter that's left. And they go in there and they hear, we have a meeting and they can barely hear us, and everyone's just talking over each other. And it's nothing really gets
The message doesn't get through.
The message doesn't get through. I mean,
Or it gets misconstrued,
Yeah,
and everybody
so-
getting some bad information.
you're talking 120 people tops out of 1,000, whereas this podcast and social media, Facebook, can get to pretty much everybody.
Right.
Yep.
So I don't see the point of it either, unless it is probably contractual where we need to talk amongst ourselves. Yes, but I mean, I don't. They say it helps solidarity, helps us keep union, but they need to start looking around them. So that doesn't unify us.
Well, that was
J-line
it.
doesn't unify us. It's just each other. Go out there and work with each other,
Right.
instead of just ratting on each other, or
Right.
fighting with each other, or not care. Not making it harder for each other. Instead of that, why don't we just work together and become more?
Yeah, I think actions are, speak much louder than just pins
Yes.
or photo ops of,
or
us being in a
meeting,
J-line meeting.
I mean, that's not what's about. I mean, it's about how the J line is meant to get to as much information out there as possible and to show solidarity. But again, we have to actually show solidarity besides the J line. At least that's my opinion.
Well, right. It was something that was showing, we're together against a company for whatever reason it was, contract or whatever it was, that we're together on this, and it was supposed to be out there, we're visible, showing the company this.
Right.
We're not fighting with the company with anything really right now, to be honest. I mean,
No.
Now with DC now, and a good example would be DC says, and at the time DC told me that hardly anything goes to him because whenever we can't get nothing settled over here, everything goes to him, and he's like he hardly gets anything from you.
Yes, we're our district. There's 9 cities in our district, and being his alternate, I've traveled to all of these cities with him, and he would be the first one to tell you he gets less grievances from us than he does out of any of the other cities, and some of those. And guys, you need to realize, I've been to all these cities with him. And I will be going this year to all these cities with him. We do visits to all these cities. You have some cities that are 1/8 of the size of us that have 5 times as many grievances for write-ups, for write-ups for job
Performance.
Job performance. Yes, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Job performance and safety and whatever it is. And it'd be a city like Columbus or, Columbus, no, they're not big, but, Cincinnati or something like that where there's a handful of people there. Cincinnati has like 20-something agents, and so a lot of these cities end up with more grievances because of poor relationships with management. And it's not saying it's our fault. It's just they just don't get along. And we've been able to culture a good relationship with our management, which I think and I know has helped and saved a lot of jobs. Having a constant fight with them, we don't just sit there and roll over for them either. Right. We fight with them constantly. I've sat there and motherfucked every one of them.
Yeah, I've heard you.
So
through the hall.
So it's just but I don't feel like a constant battle helps anybody because we don't have anything to constantly battle over, to be honest. So just fighting needlessly, they're just going to fight back and they're just going to push back.
Right.
And in the end, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of our agents fuck up enough to put themselves in that situation where management will have the upper hand in there.
Yeah, they do shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, and it's very hard for you sometimes to get out of it, I imagine.
Yeah, some things, with our relationship now, it's not that hard. Well, I shouldn't say it's not that hard. It's just we have to find, sometimes ways to, we have to find a neutral ground sometimes, but sometimes, there's a lot of things our management does for us, and I fully believe it's because of the relationship we have, things like, here's going, bereavement. There's, somebody loses a loved one who can gauge, the importance of that loved one, but contractually only certain family members are covered in our contract for bereavement. Our management has never, I shouldn't say never, but almost 99% of the time, they've never, I shouldn't say never, they've been good at saying, somebody's cousin passed away. They grew up with them. They have a great relationship. They grew up with them. They're like a brother to them. Management will give you that. Has always been good with giving us that time. It's not contractual. They don't have to do that, and I know for a fact they wouldn't do that without that relationship because they don't have to. Because we've had previous management, not direct management, but upper management, and I'm not going to say who. I literally heard them make the comment, well, that's what personal days are for.
Right. I think I recall that.
Yeah, and they could say that's what sucks. Sometimes
they can say that. They have it right. But
yeah,
again, like the relationship you guys do have, I think it does help a lot.
Yeah, and that's why I will always defend that. I mean, it's like I said, we don't roll over. There was stuff asked me today, and then I had to tell them no, I'm not going to do it. That type of thing, because I just But at the same time, they'll do the same to me. We go back and forth. There's always limits,
right,
to what each side can do.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the whole thing. That's the relationship you're going to have. As long as you have a good relationship, at least that's what I say, man.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of stuff gets done.
Yes.
Wally, man, I actually would like to thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, well.
It was awesome having you here,
That was
man.
great.
It's a lot of info. Thank you again for keeping me as your alternate rep, man. I've been around for a long time.
Oh,
and,
God, yeah.
You know, I'll take care of the station whenever you're out. At least that's what I hope.
And
you know.
I've always trusted that, and
And, thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
retaining me as a safety rep as well.
well, I mean, to be honest, a lot of people probably don't realize the amount that Hugo that you do. I would assume a lot of the agents, because a lot of agents go to Eric, a lot of agents go, a lot of the agents actually almost have a preference. Not everybody will come to me.
Right.
I know that. I'm not offended by that because somebody may have had a good experience with Eric, so they'll only want to talk to Eric, or somebody had a good experience, with Kenya or Chalmers, whoever, and that, so that's why another reason we work so well, because we all can trust each other, we all
Yes.
do things.
And it's a diverse squad you got, man. You
Yeah.
know, and we all take care of each other. So that's why that people have options to go to.
Correct.
Right.
That's what's so great about this team.
And none of us think we know everything. None of us are too proud to ask. We all talk to, we
Why
all
are you
talk to
looking at
each
me?
other. We have a group text if anybody has any questions. Hey, did anybody deal with this? Did anybody talk about this? And there's communication there.
Right.
But as far as Hugo, I don't think a lot of people realize as much everything that he does.
Yes. He does do a lot.
People, we've had some people bitch, oh, he's offline every day, but he doesn't just sit in our office and do nothing all day. I mean, when I saw him, it was 35 degrees out and pouring rain out there changing engine cones. I mean, didn't have to do that. He could have sat inside and watched YouTube.
Right.
But
6 meals.
he spends
He's got his own chalk program too.
shot program. He spends half his time at half his day, almost every day at GSE, trying to get things, our
and
equipment
going.
fixed and going,
And bringing it back.
But they don't see that.
No.
Right.
They don't see that. I guess they see him just in the office. But I mean, trust me, Hugo, you're out there, man. I'll give it to you, man.
Thanks.
It's been a long time since we had. I'm not saying we had bad safety reps, but a very, very dedicated safety rep. You know
Well,
what I mean?
I'm here for everybody.
Yeah,
I want everybody
yeah.
to go home safe, and I want everybody to do their job safely.
Awesome, Hugo. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
and Hugo's actually noticed system wide for
There
what he
you go.
does.
See,
Well,
there you go.
Well,
you
thank
get
you.
more. Don't make his head any bigger than it already is.
Yeah.
well, I wish it was, so I could fit many hats on here. But
Well, before we go, I want to talk about the June 17th White Sox, the June 17th White Sox outing that the Culture Committee is having. We have a contest for you guys. If you guys want to win some tickets, we're giving away 3 tickets, 3 separate tickets. All you have to do, Hugo, is let them know what they got to do, Hugo. Oh, you forgot already, didn't you?
yes,
He does have a perturbed look on his face. Like,
Okay, guys, find me or
he looked
Hugo.
like the dog before you let him out.
Find me or Hugo before next Friday and give us either a topic, tell us either a topic that we talked about in the episode, or give us something new to talk about.
Any episode.
And give any episode and let us know what episode it is and what topic was, or
Right.
give us a new topic to talk about, and we will give you a raffle ticket. We'll give you a raffle ticket to go, and
when will we be doing this drawing?
the drawing will be next Friday
Awesome.
when we do the podcast for next week.
Cool.
Okay, so again, try to find me or Hugo. Let us know a topic that we had in the episode and what episode it was, or give us a new topic to talk about. Make sure it's legit. I don't want to come in and let's talk about movies. No, I'm talking about reunions. That's something that we could talk about amongst the members. All right, so and then we'll give you a raffle ticket, and at the end of next Friday, me and Hugo will draw 3 names, and those guys will win free tickets to go to the outing hosted by the Culture Committee at the White Sox game. And what else? They get 2 hours before the game.
2 hours
of food, all you can eat,
all
all
you
you
can
can
eat. And drink.
Yeah, we've been there last time. Jesus Christ, they seriously do that.
That's mostly all you can drink,
So again, look out for me
you,
and Hugo
yeah.
for the next. I'll be at work
Hey.
Friday. I'll be at work tomorrow. I'll be at work every day except next Friday when we do the podcast.
Right.
So again, reach out to us. Let us know. Before we do go, before Wally, me and Hugo have what's called the movie of the week. You want to give us a movie you watched?
I actually watched Sinners.
Sinners. Isn't
Oh,
that with
yeah, I want
Michael
that
B.
one.
Jordan? How
Michael
is
B.
that?
Jordan.
Yeah. Did you get that ending?
My daughter and I had different opinions, but
It's one of those
Don't
movies.
tell me
yeah.
that.
It's one of those movies where you got to think about it.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it was slow. The last, I'd say, 45 minutes were
Yeah.
45 minutes to last. It's a 2-hour movie. So, but the last 45 minutes, it really picked up and got really good. To me, it was a lot of build up before
Right.
that.
Hugo, what you got?
I just watched I Hostage. It's I Hostage. It happened in an iPhone store. It's actually based on a true story, and it was dubbed. It was pretty interesting. You know what went through everybody's minds in there, and how they were able to get that guy out. It was pretty cool. It's on Netflix right now.
Nice. For me, I was given a movie to watch by Tim again, our good friend Tim Patala. His Netflix pick of the week is Awake. It's about people who, for some reason, everybody in the world cannot go to sleep, and they stay awake, and they're awake for 5-6 days in a row, and it just starts getting interesting after that.
Oh, nice.
So it's a good movie to check out. It's called Awake. It's on Netflix. So. Again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in. Again, please subscribe to us, like us, and we thank you for tuning in to the Quick Question podcast. Again, I am your host, Eric Perez, alongside Hugo, your safety rep, and our special guest, Wally Matys.
Thank you guys for having me.
Awesome.
Hey, not a problem. Thanks for showing up.
I actually very much enjoyed it. I listen to this every week. It's a perfect time for me on the treadmill. So
Yeah, come on. Listen to us either in the bin, in a treadmill, or on the way home, guys. Again,
Yeah.
Or drive home or taking a shit. Anyway.
thanks again for listening, guys.
I've
See you
done
next
that
week.
too.
All right. Be safe out there, everybody, and we are signing off.